When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world.
I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! This is SeptumSin versus the world. You're watching SeptumSin. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And we're here to show you what we got.
Woo!
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Christmas edition.
Well, yes, pretty much. This is still the prior to Christmas, Black Friday, and other such sales.
Yeah, but seeing as we have, seeing as basically we aren't going to be here for Christmas week, this is the pre-Christmas edition.
Yeah.
And if there have been any Christmas pickups, we will of course show you when we return, either the week of New Year's or the week following, depending on how schedules run.
I do not anticipate a large number myself, but there may be some, and I'm, fingers crossed, some good ones.
Yep.
But I do still have tons of stuff, and unfortunately, due to snow, I was not able to participate last week. I know he was able to work through his pile a little bit.
Yep.
But we got some fun stuff, and the one I'm going to start with...
Giant Sentai boxes.
Oh, I got a lot, but very little Sentai here, but I do have some. But the first one I'm going to start with is, by the time this video posts, we will have probably done this week's Inside Movies Galore discussion.
Woo.
And this week we will be doing a film that I was way overdue to add to my collection. And I picked it up on Black Friday, well, in the days thereafter. I think it was a Walmart pickup, and I believe it was $6, which is not a bad price for this. And this is the film Scrooge.
Ah, Blu-ray.
Bill Murray classic film. I don't like this cover as much as the one that you usually see. But
my copy.
hey, you probably have the other one. But this is it's a fun movie. I rewatched it last night.
That one?
Yeah, that's the classic cover there. It's good stuff. But so if you are not familiar with the film, definitely tune into our discussion because I'm sure it'll have some interesting viewpoints. But the basic rundown is it's a modern day, 80s, but modern day riff on Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol with Bill Murray playing Frank Cross, but he's essentially a Scrooge character. And there's a lot of different riffs on the story. It gets a little dark. It gets a little crude at times. Murray, I thought, was a little more over the top than he usually is. And I like him better when he's more restrained. But he has the skills to go every which way, and he covers the more dramatic beats of the film just fine. And it has some wonderful supporting roles. Karen Allen, Carol Kane. Carol Kane was actually kind of annoying as the Ghost of Christmas Present, but whatever. Robert Mitchum has an interesting role. Alfre Woodard. And, of course, one of the recurring, almost comic relief, but also pathetic characters is played by Bobcat Goldthwait.
Ah, I love Bobcat Goldthwait.
I know you do. But it's a good film. It's worth watching. I was overdue to get it.
One of my favorite Christmas films. I have watched that one many, many times. That's one of the few films I can say I've watched over 100 times in my lifetime.
This was probably my third full viewing. I'm guessing, but it's not more than 4 or 5.
No, you're not getting up on the table. I tell you, that's the one you keep hearing.
Yeah.
She's deaf. She can't really tell this, so she's, of course,
Fu,
I figure she's using echolocation,
generally
like she can
quiet.
feel the vibrations or something.
Hey, Fu.
So, to me, I'm just getting these turned around so I know what I'm pulling. Okay, Christmas time is about at least as a kid, it was about getting video games, like getting that 1 or 2 new shiny video games. They're very expensive.
Shiny.
And my family was not very, very wealthy when I was growing up. So this was one of the few times, that and my birthday were the only times of year that I actually got a video game. So it was very, very important to get that right game at that time. And I would spend almost the entire day playing video games. And the system I tended to play it on was the Nintendo. So all of my pickups are Nintendo related this time around.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So I've been holding on to them for a while. So they build up. They build up over time. Last time I really did a heavy video game one was when we did the Rebel Gaming Club episode. If you haven't seen it,
It's still been a minute.
it's a cool episode.
Right.
So first I've got some Game Boy pickups.
Nice.
So the first one is this one here, which is RPG Maker Fez, which is you can see why I got it. It's very cheap price-wise. It's $12 at GameStop. And of course I got it for $10 because I was on the Elite Pro. And it is an RPG Maker, which is what it says. You can actually create your own classic role-playing games on it. And they've made it so that the interface is very, very fun. I've played a lot of homebrew ones because you can download that app for free. And you can see the discs for the 3DS are kind of small. It's rather cool looking. I am looking forward to trying to craft a few of these on my handheld. Of course, I've got lots of things that I've been working through on the handheld. Right now I'm playing Smash Brothers because I can't really afford the one on the Switch. So I'm playing the one on the 3DS. But still, this is a cool looking title.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, my next one is a slight conversion, a slight condensation. I'm actually a little bit on the fence about whether I should have gone this route or not. I had the original split copy of this one, and I think this condenses it very slightly. But a show that I love, that I absolutely love, and it's got a bit of a sentimental attachment for me, although it's kind of a long and weird story of why that is. But there's a really great story based on light novels by the author of Kino's Journey, and it's called Allison and Lilia. And I got the complete collection.
Very nice.
Collection here. I already had the split 2-part ones, and to be honest, I still haven't made up my mind.
I still have the split 2-part ones.
I haven't made up my mind if this is really worth splitting or giving this one. One of the two is going to the library, because I believe strongly that this should be in the collection. It's a great series. It's very, the opening theme, Tamiki no Hashi or something, it's called The Bridge of Sighs, is one of the best theme songs ever. It's flippin' awesome. And the show overall reminds me of an old school action adventure. Think Indiana Jones or The Adventures of Tintin. And it's also interesting because it's a generational saga. You have Allison and Will are the stars of the first part of the series. And then Lilia and, I don't remember the prince's name, her friend, are the children of the stars of the first part of the series. And there are some storytelling parts that bothered me about this, but otherwise I really, really loved it. Like I said, I'm a little bit hesitant about whether I should have put this in for the week, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's an awesome show. And whichever copy I end up keeping, this definitely is one that's worth seeking out. And I was able to get it dirt cheap. Sentai had it for, what was it, $6 or $7?
Oh, it was very cheap.
It was really cheap. It was cool.
Sentai sale
Yeah.
drained me of my wallet, but it was a lot of bang for the buck.
Right.
All right, another Game Boy game. This one is one I've wanted for a while. I played the original game it was based off of and never beat it, and that was Metroid Samus Returns. This is actually a brand new copy. It was bought at GameStop under one of their Christmas / Black Friday sales, really cheap. I was willing to pay. I wasn't willing to pay anything more than $15 for it, and I found it for that. I really do want to play it because it's a remake of one of the Metroid games that I did not beat at the time. The second game, actually, and which was on the Game Boy system. I am curious about it. It's about if you don't know the story of Metroid, it's about this mercenary, essentially. She goes down to this planet of pirates who've stolen this kind of mutated alien thing and plan to weaponize it. So she's gone down to take them out. Now, the second one, she finds out that there have been some that have mutated into even more deadly monsters, so she must hunt them down and take them all out. So I am looking forward to it. I hope some of you have actually played this. It looks really fun. I can't wait to dig into it.
Okay, my next one is a Nozomi release, Right Stuff release, that I went in kind of the wrong order with this one. I picked up the final volume 3 or 4 years ago, and then last year, you may recall, I presented both volumes of the second series, but now I finally have the first series of Aria.
Yay!
Yes, they finally put it on a price I could not turn away, which was last year they had the the season 2 for $12.50 a pop, but for some reason this one did not go on sale. But this year this was on $12.50 a pop. I kind of don't like getting the show now that it's been converted to Blu-ray and been given a dub, but those Kickstarter releases are way too expensive.
Oh, they're very high up there.
If you love the show, then I would go for it, but I don't know the show well enough to pay for it.
I liked the show, but I didn't love the show. Not enough. Even, I think Lisa Ortiz was cast in it, which almost made me go over.
That's weird for you not to jump on that.
It's just so expensive. And I've got these nice limited edition ones anyway, and they're out of print.
See, I got the limited edition for the 3rd and 4th parts, which is like a single volume, but they're packaged together. But the others, I just have the basic editions, but they take up less space.
They do take up less space.
And now I can finally watch the freaking show, which is nice. Yeah, this was the original release that he got that is very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah.
Okay. The problem with the second season is that they split it into 2 parts.
Right.
Alright, well, my next one, it's 2 games. I thought to myself, I got 11! And then I'm like, wait, no, these 2 can be put together.
Go to 11.
And that is Bravery Default and Bravery Second End Layer.
Okay.
2 RPGs for the 3DS. They're supposed to be old school, like Final Fantasy. There you go. Bravery Default. And one of these is not as expensive as the other, but again, I got it on like a buy something, get the others free type sale. And it's not terribly bad. I've been wanting to get these for a while. I've heard only wonderful things about this group of RPGs. I really would like to have gotten the original packaging, but you know, I'm not so worried about it. A lot of people just buy the loose discs, so I'm just glad to have cases at all. Though I probably will dump those cases and put them into I actually do have some carrying cases, and I can, usually the ones that don't have official box art, I will probably, but I store those just in case.
Good deal.
All right,
my next one is another one that he has the nice deluxe edition, and I had to make do. But I am doing what I can to finally catch the last few NIS America titles that Right Stuff still has in their stock. I think I may have gotten the last of them this go around. I got 3 titles. You'll be seeing the others in later pickups. But for now, I have the standard edition of The Daily Lives of High School Boys, which looks fun. I think you said it was quite fun.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, like I said, he has the really nice tabletop box.
Well, that's all right.
but-
Yeah, you've got a lot of the special editions I don't
Right.
have, so we're even.
And this was not a bad price. It was $20, which for an NIS release is really not a bad price. And so I finally got that one to add. This was one of the NIS ones I had a middling interest in, but I definitely have an interest in collecting their stuff as much as I can. And I've heard mostly good things about it.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a slice of life, right?
It's a slice of life.
yeah.
It's not so
Yeah.
bad. It's kind of cool to see one that's actually about the high school boys, since it usually
Right.
centers around high school girls.
Right.
And yes, this is a guy character here. This is one of the scenes
Yeah.
where he
There's one on the back where he's dressed more...
where they basically break into his sister's room
Mm-hmm.
and they try on the skirt and basically go, and then of course his friends go through her underwear drawer, which
Of course.
you know, as they do in anime.
Yes. But anyway, so finally got that one.
All right, now we're on to Nintendo Switch,
Ah.
which is for the rest of the titles. Unfortunately, I had to sell the my Nintendo Wii, and there went that and all of my GameCube and all of my Wii titles. Mainly because there was a gift I was trying to get, and I couldn't get it, and now I'm wondering if I'm ever going to get it. But we'll see. Darn you, Canadian Post. Next up is a game called SNK 40th Anniversary Collection.
Ooh.
This is a pretty cool collection.
Yeah.
Has a lot of nice little beat 'em ups, shoot 'em ups, and also one action RPG called Crystalis. A lot of these, they have the arcade ports. Ones of note, Akari Warriors, 1, 2, and 3. And not only do they have a number of these, sometime this month they're going to do an update with free DLC for another like 5 to 10 games.
Oh, good times.
So nice little collection right here.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. Some of these are not. The one that the girl with the bikini is in, actually, I don't know if that actually got a U.S. release.
Is that Athena?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been in a lot of their games, but yeah.
But
She's
still,
fun to play.
So I showed you what the 3DS carts look like. So, I mean, for those of you who haven't seen them, I mean, look at how small that is comparatively. But still, really cool. Glad to finally get this. I've wanted it mainly just so I can legit play Crystalis on the console.
Good deal. All right, I'll be leaving behind anime for a minute. Well, at least for a brief minute. This was one I think I got a Walmart release. I had a handful of $4 pickups on Black Friday, and I think I did 1 or 2 of them already. This was one I've been after for a while. I've seen the first 2 in the franchise, and I enjoy them a lot more than I thought I would. I have not yet seen the third one, but I want to, and I could not pass it up at 4. And that is the Expendables 3. Which, okay, we gotta look at this cast. We got Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Antonio Banderas, Jet Li, Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, Kelsey Grammer, Terry Crews, Ronda Rousey,
All those action movies that Kelsey Grammer was in.
yes, Mel Gibson, Harrison Ford and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Bruce Willis did not come back because Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
But there's like so many people. These are, if you're an action junkie, you gotta love this series. You just really
It's the only one I have not seen.
Yeah.
I have owned the third one for a while, but Kim wanted to see them, so she wanted to see them from the beginning, and
Just
we never got to them. So it's just still been sitting there. I probably will eventually just say heck with it and watch it on my own, and then we'll come back later.
Right.
But still, it is curious, because the second movie, to me so far, the second movie was the best. It really, they hit their stride in that second
The second movie was the one with Chuck Norris
Yes.
and Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yeah, they had Chuck Norris was spouting Arnold's one-liners, and Arnold was spouting like the Chuck Norris
The Chuck Norris jokes.
jokes. It was great.
It was good. Yeah, it was good times. And some of these people, Schwarzenegger's been in there from the start. Stallone, of course, has been the centerpiece of the series. Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren have been around from the start. But yeah, that looks fun.
So this next one was a Black Friday deal. I've been looking for good RPGs on the Switch, and of course I don't like how GameStop packages these things. But I think I'm going to actually go ahead and place this on here now. And this is a game called Shining Resonance Refrain. Now it's got a lot of, as you can tell, anime-like cartoony graphics, and you get the little Japanese voice pack on here. You have to download the Japanese if you want to listen to the original Japanese.
Oh.
But you can get it, and that's part of this. Sega did this, and it looks really good.
Yeah.
Some of the, I mean, you can see this kind of has almost a Nier Automata look on it, and you can see our stuff on the back here. I am looking forward to checking it out. Again, who knows if I ever will or when I will. Hopefully it's a win. But we're working on it.
Good deal.
Next up.
This one is one that I have been very, 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 very curious about, this TV franchise, and have not yet gotten around to watching it. Best Buy did something very annoying where they had both the first 2 seasons on sale for Black Friday, but season 1 was on DVD and season 2 was on Blu-ray.
Wow.
So I ended up getting the Blu-ray season 2. Luckily, it's an anthology series, so I could theoretically go ahead and watch it. But I finally have season 2 of Fargo, which I think this was $6. It was either 6 or 7. And strangely enough, the DVD one was like $1 more.
I need to get like the 3rd season.
I need to get 1 and 3. But Fargo, of course, the movie by the Coen brothers, is one of my favorite. It is one of my favorite movies, and I really want to see this franchise. It's just been.
It's gotten a lot.
I have so much of a backlog. I couldn't justify getting it from the library, and I don't really do a lot of streaming, so I couldn't really watch too much. But this season is the one that features Kirsten Dunst, Patrick Wilson, and Ted Danson. So that's pretty awesome right there. And just in general, I really wanted an opportunity to get into this show. And now, like I said, since it's an anthology series, I could theoretically go ahead and watch it and just watch season 1 whenever. But we'll see.
I still like to watch them from the beginning, even if I can.
Right.
So this next one, I don't know what it is. Hold on. Okay, I know what it is now. This is one that I got from one of these companies that tends to put these types of games out. I got a couple of these on this list, and this is from Limited Run Games. I occasionally will see one that I would really like on physical media. I love physical media. I hate that things are going digital, and games seem to be going to digital only a lot of this time. But they'll actually put something like this on a physical disc, and this one, for instance, is Saturday Morning RPG. Now, this is a indie title that you can get on your computer pretty cheap. It really does. Who does that look like, really?
Pyro.
And it goes on like old school RPG tropes, role play, paper and pen paper RPG tropes, and comic book a lot of things that you have. And I've heard that the writing is superb, and it's well worth checking out.
Sounds good. That might be kind of fun. I probably would have gotten into RPGs if I had more patience for video games, but I really don't. So it's like, so my next one I got because it was cheap, and then I was kind of disappointed to realize when I got it, wait a minute, I already owned half of this because it was a 2-movie 2-pack. I think you have this actually. They call it Feature Squared, but this was a Sentai release.
Oh yeah, I got that.
That is got 2 things on it: Coffee Samurai and Hoshizora Kiseki. Now, Coffee Samurai is a Korean short film
Look how
that
featured.
came as a bonus feature on Satellite Girl and Milk Cow. So I already had that one.
Oh, I liked Coffee Samurai.
That was the one that Clayton sat in on. And he was like, what in the hell is this?
The other one was fun too.
Hoshisori Kiseki looks fun. And so the way I see it, this costs $2. So even if it's a little redundant to have this short film in 2 different formats in 2 different spots of my collection, I now have this short film. So, it's worth $2. And I think this one is a Japanese anime. This one, like I said, is Korean. And the title that they have on the back of the other film is a lot more interesting than Coffee Samurai. I can't remember what it is. I think it's Vending Machine Samurai and His Sword, I think was the title. Which I like that title a lot better. But that was fun. Like I said, that was probably worth $2.
I can't remember what I have it filed under here,
Yeah.
but I've got both of those.
Yeah.
There were 2 releases that were like
Yeah,
that, and
they
I've
did.
got both volumes. One on Blu-ray, one on DVD,
Yeah.
and I can't remember what I have one. So this next one is another one from, I believe, Limited Run Games. Let me make sure. Yes, Limited Run Games, and this one I had to get. This one is one that sparked a lot of controversy. I mean, a congressional investigation into the violence of video games
Ooh.
and the need to protect the children from this evil. And we're talking about the vile game Night Trap.
It's a trap.
Night Trap is probably one of the corniest games that one could ever play. Essentially, you are monitoring these people as they are in this house, and these, whatever they are coming in and trying to capture these girls and possibly murder them. Now, you're supposed to click at the right moments if you get to the camera and activate these traps in order to trap the criminals. But you're also trying to watch as much of the story as you can. Now, this comes with this nice little card, as you can see. Nice collector's card.
Ah.
I think it almost looks like a hologram almost, but a nice little booklet, which has my limited run, official on here. I haven't opened the other one, so I can't really say, but it, a little bit about the controversy. It's worth having in your collection if you want anything to do with video game history. I like how the Nintendo, the Switch games have this little area just in case they want to add a manual or something. I do miss having manuals in games. I am a physical game junkie because I don't get to play half of them.
Okay.
But still want to play this. I'm going to have fun with this eventually.
So, the back of this says, life can be strange, but life in anime can be even stranger.
Indeed.
And let me tell you, this show is freaking weird. But from what I hear, it ain't got nothing on the next show I got here. This is actually 2 shows. They're part of a franchise. I believe I paid 12 or 13 per volume. I don't remember for sure. This is one that I've been very curious about for some time. It gets really, really, really good buzz, but again, it's supposed to be really weird. And that is the Gatchaman Crowds franchise. Got Gatchaman Crowds and Gatchaman Crowds Insight.
You sprung for the Blu-ray, too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I usually do. And Gatchaman, of course, is a major Japanese franchise. I have the big, 100-plus episode collection that I really need to watch. That's from the early 70s, isn't it?
You got the original, that giant set?
Yeah.
I think I have one.
But these supposedly, I don't know about Insight, but supposedly the first Gatchaman Crowd starts off looking like it might be part of the franchise, and then goes completely off the rails. And then goes completely off the rails again. Supposedly it's a show that plays heavily into themes of reality versus illusion, the idea of public domain. Yeah, this is the Gatchaman set I was talking about here. That's a pretty cool set there.
It is a cool
And it's 105 episodes plus the OVAs. And this was what, 70, that was early 70s, wasn't it? These are much more recent. Much more recent. I think Insight's like maybe 3 years old, if that. So, I'm looking forward to these. I don't know when I'll ever get to them. I may try to watch the first Gatchaman first, so I at least have a basis of that background there. But I just couldn't pass that up. I wanted that.
Gatchaman is a big investment. It's not as big investment as Gundam.
Right.
But if you want to get it, first off, that set covers a lot of it. But then you also have to get Gatchaman 2.
Yeah.
And Gatchaman Fighters. And the movie, the animated movie. And they did a live action if you really want to be completionist.
Right.
And then, of course, the Two Crowds series.
Yeah.
So. Alright, you can come up on the table if you want. What can I do with this? Well, this one here is not super rare, but it is somewhat limited run. They didn't make a lot of copies of this. I had to special order it from GameStop. They said, well, we're probably going to order some, and then it turns out that the one that I pre-ordered was the only one that they got in. And that is the game Moonlighter. Now, this one is kind of like... You've played some video games. Have you played A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo? Have you played any of the Legend of Zeldas?
Probably.
Well, for those of you at home who have played A Link to the Past, which was the Super Nintendo Legend of Zelda games, this really kind of is a cross between that and a sort of job simulator. What you do is you go into this dungeon and you find items, and then you got to go up that's during the night, hence the moonlighting. And then during the day, you've got to open up your store and sell these items in order to keep making money for your store. It's a really cool concept. And a lot of these games are not super long, which is good for an old man like myself. I can't really deal with these 100-hour RPGs. I've been working on Fallout 4 forever. I think maybe one day I will beat it. Okay. Oh, girl. It's just hard to... It's really hard to say. I mean, now, this cat, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Christmas time, but she has made not a full recovery. I don't know how long it is, but she was definitely on the end at the end of her life. She was barely able to lift her head, strength-wise. Now she's jumping up on the table, and of course she is yelling her lungs out for attention. So, there are some minor miracles for the season.
Yeah. Good deal.
All right, go for it.
All right. So, and also, I totally forgot to mention, but I love how this features a networking hub with the acronym GALAX. Being a huge plant nerd, the idea that they use the word Galax in here is just awesome. So, anyway, the next one is one that I'm actually really interested in. Anime News Network, on their Shelf Life segment, gave this one a really high rating, and I am very interested in this, especially some of the things they said in their review. This is a very recent series that I got, I think, for no more than $7 or $8 on the sale, and it's a show called Girlish Number. And this one is about people in the anime industry.
Oh.
And specifically the main character, Chitose, that one in the middle with the, she apparently is a spoiled, self-serving, kind of wannabe star who's really not got the talent to back it up. But one thing that intrigues me is that the reviewer for ANN described her as a pink-haired anime version of Bender. So I'm like, that could be fun. I don't know if she's as big a drunk as he is, but the idea is it's about people, mostly voice actors, but people in the anime industry. It's apparently a very dark, snarky, cynical. It's from the same people who did my teenage romantic comedy Snafu or whatever.
Oh, very good.
Which is a very highly rated series.
That I need to get to.
Supposedly, it's really, really, really well done. The music, the animation is supposed to be top notch. I'm interested in shows about the industry. Shirobako is one of my favorite shows. If this one is nearly as good as its reputation, I look forward to it. I was amazed at how cheap it was on the sale, and I had to jump on it.
So many anime.
Yeah.
So little time.
Yeah.
Not enough lives to live, essentially.
Yeah.
Alright. So. Next to last for me, and I think you've only got one more.
One more.
So, I like the Lego games, and the reason why I like the Lego games is that they're fun, they've got quirky senses of humor, and they're easy to get into and out of.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like Marvel. The Marvel Universe is very fun, and very diverse. And I've been into comics for a long time. I'm not as much into comics now as I used to be because, there's only enough for one addiction in my life. So, this is Marvel Superheroes 2. This went on sale fairly cheap to the point where I finally said, you know what, I will go ahead and get it. I was kind of wanting to wait until they had a full release with the DLC, but this was just too cheap for me to let go. And I like that Spidey 2099 is in it, just because he was one of my favorite Spider-Man. I originally collected the series back in the 90s, so I am looking forward to it. I need to play the first one. I do have that digitally, so it is one I just need to download and play. So much I need to download and play.
Right. Okay.
So
And my last one is literally a big one.
Uh-oh.
It is a big one.
That is a big one.
And this is from an eBay auction that I won. This one particular vendor was offering up limited edition collections of Puella Magi Madoka Magica. I did not win that auction, sadly, but I won a side auction that I'm not super thrilled with the condition that these are in, but they're still in a good condition. And this is a franchise we have mentioned on this show a few times. It's one that was very high on our list. It may have been top of our list of anime that really freaking need an American release. But the manga has been released here, and I now have it. And that is a series by Hiroyuki Nishimori called A Cheeky Angel.
Ah,
Got all 20 volumes of the manga. And this is one I've been wanting to read for a long time. Since we can't watch the damn show legally, I guess we might as well read it to revisit it, because it's been too long since I've seen it.
Oh.
But this is a really awesome... Again, they're not in perfect shape. A couple of them have some creases. Most of them are a little discolored, but they're still in good shape. They don't smell too musty. So I don't really mind too much. The main thing is, with the price I spent, I would have loved it if they were brand new. I knew they weren't, but I would have loved it if they were newer than they were supposed to be. This whole stack, if you count shipping, which, let's face it, shipping on that is pricey.
Yeah.
Costs $10 for shipping. If you count shipping, it cost $52.50.
Not bad.
Which it came down to about $2.60 per volume, which for manga, that's pretty cheap.
New it would be about
Yeah.
10 per volume,
Right.
so that's not bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, the sticker price on these is, what is the sticker price on these?
I don't know.
$9.95.
Yeah, so about 10.
Viz Media release from back in the day. I mean, these are old releases.
Yeah,
They're
it's
not
actually out of print for the
yeah.
most part.
I was going to say, this is not an easy series to find. I once found a quarter of this series at a local used bookstore. I could have gotten brand new copies at half price, but it was about a quarter of the series. You know, that's the only time I have physically seen this.
Wow.
So, getting it, you know, incidentally, that's our heroine of the series, Megami Amatsuka.
heroine.
Yes. And just we'll do the brief synopsis here. Megami, a 9-year-old martial arts enthusiast and all-around rapscallion, always wanted to be the manliest man on Earth. After saving a sorcerer from a group of local toughs, Megami is presented with a magic genie that can grant any wish. Unfortunately, the genie misconstrues Megami's desire as wanting to become the womanliest woman on Earth, and in a flash, Megami's Y is swapped for an X. 6 years later, Megami is the hottest girl in school, but has stayed true to her tough-talking, punk-stomping ways. If that's not enough, Genzo, the baddest dude in town, is smitten by her womanly wiles. That's Genzo, by the way. And it's just, I love this show. Yeah, really, and I love Megami as a character. She's really complex. She's voiced by Megami Hayashibara, who's flippin' awesome voice actress. Genzo's hilarious. The what was it, like the conference, like the mental conferences?
And it does have one of my favorite openers in anime.
Oh, the first opener, Grand Blue, is one of the best. Is an awesome song, and pretty good opening animation too.
I actually bought that release, the original soundtrack. Gave it to a friend for Christmas, but then promptly burned it to my computer. Of course.
Of course.
You know, as rare as those are, it's harder to get. Yeah, I will have to try and borrow some of those if you let me. After that, I'm in the middle of reading one series right now, but I will. But I might actually, after you get a few volumes read,
I might actually make a point of reading this soon because I do want to read it, and because I can read the whole thing and not have to worry about waiting.
So my last one is also a big one. I have all the games in this series, yet I have yet to play any of them. The first game in the series, technically the first game is called Demon Souls, which I have on the PlayStation 3, but I have yet to play. Now, this is the first of the true trilogy, which is Dark Souls, the remastered, on the Switch. Now this is considered one of the harder games out there, one where you're supposed to die constantly. I'm not sure whether I really will like this or not, but lots of people say it's excellent, and those are people who are usually frustrated by that sort of thing. So it tells me that maybe I should give it a try. I do like a well-crafted world. That's why I keep coming back to Skyrim and Fallout 4, which are the two games I'm playing. But I am curious about it. I want to see it. I want to go and do it. I want to play all these things. But I think I've got my... I think I got my time held up for a little bit.
So, you can probably hear Fu. He's purring so loud.
So that's all we have for this time around.
That's all.
I hope that I hope we will see you, of course, further on in the future.
Yep.
Let us know what you've picked up over the season, and of course, share, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
Goodbye.